Going across directly now to the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the parliament, where the Information and Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav is giving the government stand in just a short while. Listen in.
Read the story in detail, and I request all honourable members to examine the issues on facts and logic. Sir, with your permission, I may be allowed to lay the statement on the table.
So, Minister Ashwini Vaishnav ji has laid his statement. आप कोई सवाल जवाब नहीं करना चाहते हैं? Please, please. Reports of the Department related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Labour, Shri Vivek Thakur. Reports of the Committee on Welfare and Other Backward Classes, Shri Narayan Gupta. The House stands adjourned to meet at 11 hours on Friday, 23rd July 2021.
In the past, similar claims were made regarding the use
And before the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav could even make a proper statement, there was commotion in the House, and the Rajya Sabha has now been adjourned for the day. We will get further updates on that. Remember, it was very crucial because it was the opposition itself demanding a statement from the Information and Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav.
We cannot fault those who haven't read the story.
My colleague Mausami Singh is reporting live from outside the parliament. Mausami, could the Information and Technology Minister make any statement at all, or was he disrupted right away and the House has been adjourned till when?
So yeah, it was inevitable. We saw the way the House was being run in the morning, witnessing several adjournments over the Farm Row and the Snoopgate. And that's one reason that, the opposition has been up in arms against the government. And we did speak to senior government sources who did say that the opposition had promised otherwise for the House to run, and they could in fact ask for a clarification on any particular matter because, this was already discussed in the Business Advisory Council. But the scenes that we are witnessing, it is clear that the entire day was washed out, and the parliament is up for the rest of the days are going to be stormy as well. The IT minister has just started to speak when the opposition members were sloganeering, and continuously they've been holding placards inside the upper house, and that's one reason that the minister could not make the statement at all. And now the House will convene again tomorrow 11 a.m. the upper house.
But Mausami, didn't the opposition by themselves wanted a reaction, a statement from the government? So what was the commotion about if the IT minister was speaking on the Snoopgate that precisely the opposition wanted answers on?
Including in the Supreme Court. The press report.
The upper house, Pooja, has seen several adjournment notices that have been given on the farmers' issue, and almost more than 10 notices have been given on the matter. The opposition members are saying that they want a detailed discussion on the farmers' row and the farmers protesting outside at Jantar Mantar, and that's one reason that there is no, in fact, talks between the government and the opposition benches of direct confrontation, and the opposition believes that until the government relents, they will not let the House function, Pooja.
Mausami Singh, with all the latest, Rajya Sabha has now been adjourned for the day. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav was about to make a statement on the Snoopgate controversy. That's not happening anytime soon.
Those reports had no factual basis.
So that's the big news that's come in. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, a new minister, about to make a statement as was being demanded by the opposition. But as our reporters are telling us, in the Rajya Sabha, there was already an adjournment notice by several opposition netas on different issues, including the farmers' protest, asking the government to repeal farm laws, on the Snoopgate also, but also importantly, the commotion that then started in the upper house of the parliament, the Rajya Sabha. IT minister could not go ahead, and that is when the deputy chairperson decided to adjourn the Rajya Sabha for the day. Remember, there have been opposition netas led by the Congress party who have been protesting since morning at the Gandhi statue outside the parliament building against the government, whether on farm laws, whether on Snoopgate, inflation prices and other issues.
Those reports had no factual basis and were categorically denied by all parties, including in the Supreme Court. The press reports of 18 July 2021 also appeared to be an attempt to malign the Indian democracy and its well-established institutions. We cannot fault those who haven't read the story in
So while the Snoopgate controversy is rocking both houses of the parliament, there's now a statement that has come from Amnesty International. Amnesty International is the civil rights body and has now said that it never claimed that there was an NSO Pegasus list of people who were in reality spied upon. Amnesty is now claiming that the list is only indicative and contains names of people who the clients of NSO, the agency, would like to spy upon and not real names who were being spied upon. Amnesty instead is now blaming global media companies for this confusion. Amnesty is also now one of the proponents of the so-called global investigation into getting this list out, which said to have revealed a list of high-profile individuals in different countries allegedly snared through the Israeli spyware Pegasus. The Bharatiya Janata Party has now claimed vindication already because the BJP is saying no one knows where did the snooping list come from, no one knows whether the phones were really hacked or not. The IT chairperson Shashi Tharoor has now IT panel chairperson Shashi Tharoor has now said that their committee has enough power. There is no need for the JPC investigation. The JPC, the Joint Parliamentary Committee probe that the opposition parties are asking. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav was about to make a statement, but due to the commotion, it was disrupted in the Rajya Sabha, which has now been adjourned. In the court, meanwhile, also this issue has reached. A public interest litigation has been filed in the top court, seeking a court-monitored investigation into the Snoopgate.
The fact is that Amnesty's revelation is not new. Earlier also when you had a similar thing do the rounds, there was no clarity around it even then, and it continues to be so even now. It's just a fishing expedition to undermine democracy, to undermine elected governments, and the fact that it emerged just a day before the monsoon session of the parliament should tell you that it was intended to disrupt parliamentary proceedings, and of course sections of the media and the opposition has taken it completely on themselves to do what was expected of them.
They have been calling for a judicial inquiry, an independent judicial inquiry. I think an independent judicial inquiry, either appointed by the Supreme Court or under the Commissions of Inquiry Act, something like that is bound to be able to get to the truth, which is what the Indian people need to know.
This is illegitimate, illegal, and with all the negative aspects in the society is being adopted to form this government. So this government has got no moral right to continue, and they should step down. And if they would not have attempted through the Snoopgate, I think the government would have been stable.
So what are the twists and turns that are coming in this Snoopgate controversy, which has become a global storm, but mainly here in India has rocked both houses of parliament? Let me take you through one by one all the twists that have come in. What happened earlier? Now, the opposition parties attacked the government directly at the centre, the Modi government, based on a snooping list, a list of high-profile names whose phones and other equipment may have just been spied upon. Amnesty at that time, Amnesty International, which is a civil rights body, at the forefront of the Snoopgate charge earlier. That's how the list had surfaced and was also published in global media. But what happened now? Amnesty International appears to have denied any real list, saying it is only indicative. Indicative means that likely a possibility that these were the names could be spied upon. Amnesty's U-turn amid the heat in Parliament and opposition attack already becoming a huge political face-off. Opposition targeting the government. The government is claiming there is no snooping, only a fishing expedition. Fishing expedition being used as a metaphor, perhaps with no real conclusion, but just a reference to those names. However, many journalists have claimed that they did believe that their phones were hacked and were snooped upon. But to get a better understanding of how much of it is possible, was the NSO really involved in spying of phones? I spoke to an Israeli journalist, a cyber tech investigative journalist, Omer Kabir. Listen in to what he had to say. How do you look at a list now being called indicative which global media has taken on face value that these were the names already spied upon?
Well, it's very interesting because Amnesty has actually never changed its statement from the start. What they're doing is clarifying what they've been saying from the moment the story first came out there and the journalist consortium forbidden stories. And they are all been saying this is not a list of NSO's target. This is a list of phone numbers that have been of some interest, maybe legitimate, maybe illegitimate, to governments that are clients of NSO. The problem is that this statement got lost in the way when other media reported about the story, and some of them, a lot of them actually made the jump and claim, well, every number on this list is a number that's been targeted by NSO. This is not the case, and Amnesty is just clarifying it right now. That, and in fact, they never said it, and they just want to clarify it right now.
So how should this list now be seen? Because it's become a global storm here in India. It's become a major showdown, Omar, in the parliament. So should it be seen only as an indicative now that these names were not spied upon, none of them, or perhaps some may have been, as some journalists are also stating?
Some may have been, yes. I'm guessing most of them have been not. There is no way to tell. This is just a list of numbers that have been of interest, probably to governments that are clients of NSO. They are not indicative of anything in addition to that. What we can say is that another part of the story that this is based on a forensic analysis that has been done to 67 phone numbers, 67 phones, devices that have been handed to Amnesty. On 37 of them, there have been found some evidence of Pegasus software that has been installed. This, as we can say with more certainty, there have been found 37 phones in this research of Pegasus on these phones. The list, I don't think you can say anything with certain about the list. Certainly, you can't say that a number on the list equals a number being tracked or targeted by Pegasus.